Alright, here's the next video. Had to work yesterday. Let's see here. Been here pretty much all day. Had some questions answered. Had a friend of mine who works for the company that does most of the general maintenance, I guess you could say. Come and take a look at what I'm doing, and gave me some advice. Basically told me what I needed to do as far as my plumbing issues are concerned, so that's good. So I guess I'll just dig into that real quick. So I got the kitchen sink here. The goal is to get the washer dryer combo, which I've changed. I originally was going to go with a stack in the very back corner there, with keeping a wall right back there to cover it up. Well, I recently discovered that you can get a combination unit that washes and dries, and it's kind of I wouldn't say like the newest thing in the world, but it's starting to trend. So the unit that we're going to go with is actually an under-counter unit. It washes and dries. It's a very small unit, but we are only 2 people, and it washes and dries. So basically you do, one small load a day, which is pretty much what we do. You wake up in the morning and it's dry, and you put it away. So that is going to go at the very end of this counter space. The whole point of this was to do like as open concept as possible, especially in the kitchen. So where that light switch is basically where the counter is going to start, and it's going to go all the way to the back, which is well, I think it's a little over 14 feet to the edge here. So somewhere in between, probably like right around 13 and a half feet, which is a giant counter, So they'll have that on this side, and then on the other side of the kitchen, we'll have a counter all the way to the back where the fridge is going to be, and we're going to go with hopefully I'm going to buy a used, got a few prospects, but I'm going to go with a used counter depth style fridge, so it's only going to stick out 25 inches rather than 30 inches. I believe normal fridges are right around 30 inches. So we're going to have a solid 4 feet in our galley kitchen all the way back. So that's the goal. Anyways, yeah, we pretty much got our appliances, in order. Back to today, doesn't really look like much has been done, but actually we've got our new truss, 2 trusses in place up here to finish the vault, which is what I wanted to do in this space, is basically keep the vaulted ceiling all the way back. And in order to do that, we had to knock everything out and basically reframe a couple of the trusses in the back. It's almost ready for sheetrock. We got our template down, so it's not, it should be fairly easy from here. Not to mention, now that we know what we're doing here, it'll be easier to replicate it over there in the hallway and in the bathroom. So we got one more to put in that's basically just a nailer at the very, very back here. There's nothing there yet. We've already put our extra boards in place and everything. We just need to get another board up there so we have something to nail the sheetrock to. And for me, tomorrow they're gonna finish that, and then they're gonna throw the sheetrock up, and then I will be able to get in this space because they'll be out of this space at this point, and start working on my plumbing issues, which I've got a gas issue right here that I want to make go away. It doesn't really make sense to me. I'm going to change a little bit. And I talked to my buddy about that too, and it doesn't make sense to him either, and it's not a code thing. So yeah, so I'm going to make that a little more, I don't know, less weird. So I got to deal with that, and deal with this freaking big ass cockroach right here, and he's dealt with. Texas. Anyways, this whole situation here is changing. I gotta run the ice maker line right here. I'm gonna basically extend it and probably have to measure 42 inches is what the fridge is gonna be. So I'm probably gonna put a box about right here. That same box is down there. I just gotta eliminate that box, buy a new box, run a line into the box here, and hook it all up. So, and then over here where I've got my drain here for my sink and dishwasher, and it will be also for my washer. I've got a 2-inch drain over here that I'm not going to use because I want it to be on the other side. But this is big enough to handle what I want to do, and so I basically am going to tie into that drain. I got to run that drain all the way over to the corner here where the new washer dryer combo is going to be. I also have to run a hot and cold off of the sink over here all the way over there. So have a little bit of work plumbing wise to do over here. I don't think it's anything that's like crazy complicated. It's pretty straightforward. I'm gonna get this whole sink thing out of my way so that I can start just working with the tape measure instead of working with this, and put things where they need to go, and that should be pretty much it. I told Jordan to go to IKEA tomorrow and get some lowers. I want to get a very bare minimum before we move in. I want to at least have the lowers in where they go so that I can focus on installing the appliances and building the tops, and getting the sink all done and all that stuff. So there's a lot going on here, but I think I'm juggling it pretty well. The house is pretty much a disaster area, of course, as usual at this point. Not much else really happened today, I don't think. I'm trying to remember. I think I made a video yesterday. I'd have to double check. But so we don't have any light in the bathroom right now, which makes me think that maybe that breaker's off. I probably have that breaker off right now. We're still debating on doing the shower. Probably going to happen, but it's probably going to be determined on whether we want to fork out the money. I think I can get it done for about $1,000 the way that I want to do it, from the quotes that I've dealt with so far. Not a huge deal. I definitely have something out here, because I've got light here, just don't have any light here. Okay, I'll have to check that out. Um, that kind of brings me to my other thing that happened today. Uh, I'm not an electrician. I have a fairly good idea of what I'm doing. Well, I was going to say, I think I already noted this. I think this was already like this last time. But we cut a hole where the closet is going to be. So, I think that was on the last video. Anyways, yeah, so basically my job in the situation from here on is deal with the plumbing and deal with the ductwork while the guys do the framing and stuff like that. Just gotta keep them going, you know. They get sidetracked real easy. So, what I was gonna say is, I don't know why the electric is off back there, but so we're moving a couple things today, and we went to remove the switch off of this line that was over here. It was the light switch for the pantry light, I guess you could call it. It's where the washer and dryer used to be. So we cut the switch out, killed the breaker obviously, cut the switch out and reconnected the wires. And now, actually, no, we cut the switch out completely thinking that it wasn't going to do anything. Well, it killed like half the house. So we basically, killed the circuit. And so I had to kind of rig a little thing here. Let me see that little, where those wire nuts are, and complete the circuit again. Obviously, breaker off, all that stuff, safety first. But so I gotta get my electrician that I know in here back in here so that I can figure out what's going on. And I was gonna have him start doing some work anyways. It's a lot of work that I could do, like just replacing plugs and switches and stuff like that, but it's just stuff I'm not gonna have time to do before then. Oh, and for some crazy reason, they have, I don't know, this is plugged into the right outlet, yeah. I unplugged it before I left. I'll plug it in right now. It's not the right outlet, but so this fan, and the fans in both of the spare bedrooms are on a wire that goes to the wall, and actually that's not the right outlet. You have to unplug it to make it go away, but to make this switch work, it has to be plugged into an outlet right over there, which is, I've seen it before. It's fairly common for like lamps and stuff in people's living rooms, and but anyways, obviously I don't want that. I'm gonna have him run a real wire to the light for the room, so I can not have a cord dangling in the middle of the room. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. So anyways, yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at for the day. We just got done. It's about midnight. Had to go do a dump run, trash run, I guess. I guess I mentioned, I didn't mention this. Me and Jordan worked on this a little bit. Let's see here. Just ripping the rest of the back of the fireplace off. And you kind of get a fairly good idea. Oh yeah, we got a light up there. Of what the garage is gonna look like without that giant box. So I ripped the frame off of it. We haven't taken it out yet. I have a lot of other things that need to go away. It's big, and I was kind of planning on just putting it on a pallet and sticking it in the backyard until I had time to do what I wanted to do with it, which was to have like an outdoor fireplace. But I don't know. I'll have to do a little research, because these things might be a dime a dozen. and I might just be able to find one on Craigslist for like $50 when I'm ready for it. So I don't know if it's worth, you know, keeping around. So here's the trash pile. Problem with those bags, all those white bags, is they are mostly really, really heavy. It's mortar from the fireplace and tile from the kitchen and stuff, and it's real heavy, you know. Probably 100 pounds a bag, you know. So we just dumped like 3 heavy bags and like 3 or 4 not so heavy bags. This sheetrock, all these black bags. These are all sheetrock. That's from the kitchen that I just showed you. Man, this stuff piles up. Like you don't think it's really that big of a deal, but I mean, I guess we're pretty much doing a full remodel. But if you were thinking about, you know, doing some serious, like taking things down to the studs or something like that, I mean, whew, a lot of trash. You don't think about the trash, you know. You don't think about the trash until you have it, you know. So let's see if I'm here at the breaker here. Refrigerator lighting. That's on. I have a baby breaker. It doesn't even have a main here, but actually I figured out the main is actually on the outside of the house, so I know pretty much everything there is to know. There we go. That's what it was. It's just, see the bathroom lights on now. Everything there is to know about the electrical I have now. I know pretty much everything there is to know about this house. I've been here for like a week. So I'll go ahead and show you what we're thinking about doing in the bathroom real quick. So this shower is actually kind of small. Like when you're standing in here, I mean, it's okay, but you can kind of see my feet. It's very, like, there's really not, I mean, it looks big when you're just looking at it, you know, like, wow, it's a pretty nice shower, you know, it's a pretty nice shower. But then when you actually get in it, I mean, this is a pretty small space, right? So what we're thinking about doing is changing it, of course. Everything in this room is going to change. But so what we were thinking about doing is basically where this is right here, we want the shower to start there and then just go straight across, you know, so it would actually end up like, well, you can see where the tile is, end up about right there, you know, and then make this smaller, you know, add about like 6, maybe 7 inches to the shower. We're already planning on redoing the shower eventually anyways, but if this guy works out that is going to do my floors, he's really reasonable with this stuff. I think I can get the shower done, like I said, for about $1,000. Might as well just do it now, you know. So anyways, we kind of played with maybe making it a little bit bigger, like maybe taking it to like halfway through here, right? So instead of, because it's just pretty tight all the way around, that would be nice. So, and you just lose a little closet space. You have to reframe this area right here in part of the master closet. What is the master closet? But that is going to be the master closet. So this existing closet would basically just get slimmed down and sacrifice a little closet space here for a larger shower, because this closet is going to be massive. It's going to be floor to as close to the ceiling as I can get with custom made sliding doors. This ceiling is about, I want to say it's 11 something. So I think I'm gonna call it a vertical closet. It's going to be a vertical closet. But anyways, so that's where I'm at with the project so far. We are on, today is the 11th. We've had our keys for, got it on the 2nd, 11 minus 2. We've had it for 9 days. So, yeah, I mean, we've changed a lot already, but getting a better idea every day, you know, of what things are going to cost and how much time they're going to take and all the ins and outs. So just got to make sure that we have something to move into at the end of the month. You know, gotta get it to some point finished, you know. But once we get the framing done, get the sheetrock on, hell, even if we don't have it completely painted when it's moving day, we'll still be okay. But, you know, everything always takes longer than you think it's gonna take. The kitchen frame job was supposed to be a 2-day job. It's turned into a 4-day job because simply, well, the main reason is because there's that gas line that ran across the ceiling of the pantry that went to the dryer. So the guys just came to a dead stop once they came to a gas line, you know. So like, oh, we can't do anything. So now that I've got all that under control, I've got my plumbing issues fairly under control. When we come up along those on something like that, I say, no, just keep going. We're gonna do this and this and this and this. Work around it. So, and here we are. And that's pretty much it. Day number 9. Tomorrow, like I said, I'm gonna call my electrician, and I'm going to probably call my flooring guy and go ahead and have him come over and take a look and get a rock solid date on flooring. At this point, I want to be completely, we're still on course for the 16th to be completely framed, rocked, and hopefully have one float. But I have a feeling the float's probably not going to happen. If we can get framed and rocked by the 16th, then I'll be happy. My next thing is I need the flooring guy to be in here probably no later than the 20th. So it's a mess trying to work with multiple, you know, things going on. You got one guy doing flooring, one guy doing paint, or something along those lines. And you know, if I have to sacrifice, it's just juggling a lot, you know. So don't ever let anybody tell you that flipping something is easy or that doing a full remodel is easy. You know, it's a lot of work. You know, it's a lot of leg work. It's a lot of brain work. You know, if you have an unlimited checkbook, then great. But if you're actually trying to get something done in a reasonable time frame for a reasonable amount of money, be prepared to sacrifice a lot of your time trying to get it done. So, yeah, I've definitely learned a lot, and I'm sure I have a lot more to learn. So, anyways, we'll see you guys tomorrow.